Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube, and in today's video, folks, are going to be talking about ICP, Internet Computer Price Action. So let's get into this. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you guys could do me a huge favor, hit me up on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I drop all the latest and greatest updates, content, things I find crypto interesting. Things I'm finding crypto interesting right now are within the Definity's internet computer ecosystem. So we just recorded a video on DSocial. So if you haven't seen it, just drop in to the search bar and look for it. It's pretty cool. Let's get back into what we're here for, the TA on ICP. We can see that right now, ICP, I'm thinking it's fair to say that we can see the lows are getting higher and the highs are staying stagnant right about $23-ish, somewhere in there. Now, there was a huge shakeout that happened yesterday with this candle here, but for the most part, things have kind of gotten back to normal. But we can see that this ascending triangle is still filling out quite nicely. So I do think that within the coming days, maybe going out towards April 11th, somewhere in that neighborhood, we will continue to see ICP just kind of do this upward sideways consolidation. In addition, we're just going to throw up a little Fibonacci time sequence. And so here's some pivot points that I want you guys to just throw in your cell phone calendars. Do this for me, folks, because you're going to be like, wow, this guy called it. Bear with me one second. What we're going to look for is the potential for any increased volatility. And when we use Fibonacci time sequence, what we're doing is trying to predict the next round of volatility. And going back in hindsight, off this nasty swing high to swing low, we can see that this did predict some nice momentum shifts. A very nice bull pennant or bull flag formed here. What did we get? Boom, a shot to the upside. Here we go. We have a bear pennant or a bear leg, as I like to call them, increased volatility to the downside. So this is very good at trying to predict these new incoming bouts of volatility. Now we can see that this time sequence, spot on. Boom. We had this little consolidation happen. Price action was way too far away from the Ichimoku cloud on the 1 hour chart. What happened? Volatility kicked in, and we knew exactly about where this thing was going to go. It scam wicked to the downside, but we held on and maintained. So the next time sequence, folks, April 7th, midnight Central Time. Set an alarm clock, and this could get really interesting. So at this point in time, we're seeing another bear leg happen here. I would just assume that we might see price kind of come back down to this $1.20. I'm sorry, $1.20. Boom, I'm thinking of a different crypto, $21.30 area. And we might just kind of play off this 200 moving average, and we might end up getting what I like to call a Fibonacci sliver by default. And let me explain this. And this is a term that I coined when looking at Fibonacci channels. So with that said, we can kind of see that, hey, there definitely is some sort of ascending triangle that is forming now along this trend line here. And eventually what I'm thinking is going to happen is we might see price action just kind of squeeze up above this lower trend line. And when we cannot squeeze any more horizontally, by default, price action gets forced either up or down. Hopefully we stay within this ascending triangle. So I'm hoping that on April 7th at midnight, let's just double check that just to make sure. Bear with me. April 7th at midnight might be a nice pivotal point for ICP. Of course, we could also see this thing kind of wander up here and do one of these. So that is my prediction as to what is going to happen. Not really seeing anything that's indicating any sharp or steep, drop offs, anything like that. Let's just take a look at Bitcoin dominance as well on the daily. Bear with me one second, folks. So Bitcoin dominance is in this descending triangle, and this is really working its way to the downside. I'm thinking that this thing's still well on its way to 39%, somewhere in there. Nice bear leg on the dominance. So we'll see this thing come down even more, and even a potential death cross once this 50 crushes over this 200 moving average as well. So this is the daily chart. Now let's look at Bitcoin, and we can really see how there has been some halfway decent fake outs for Bitcoin. This is my first time looking at the Bitcoin chart today, but with yesterday's fake out, oh man, that was pure manipulation in my opinion as to what happened there. But it extends out the symmetrical triangle that is forming, to say the least. And there is another Fibonacci time sequence on Bitcoin coming up here. Bear with me. We're just going to measure a few different things here. Okay, so interestingly enough, April 5th at 11 a.m., which was 2 hours ago from the making of this video, Fibonacci time sequence was telling us that there's going to be a change in momentum. So we have that going for us right there. There was a nice change of momentum. And I do think that we will just continue to see Bitcoin possibly trade anywhere between this 45.6 up to 46.7 for now. But since I've got you here, and a lot of you guys might be newer, I want to just kind of show you my theory on Bitcoin and why this bull run is so incredibly different, folks. I'm going to look at the 2013 2014 bull run. We had some incredible all-time highs. We saw price come down and bounce off this 50 a single time. It came back, tried to retest the 50, and slipped into the bear market. And you're probably wondering, why in the world is this guy talking about 2014, 2013, 2017, and 18? Well, we're going to make some comparisons, and I'm going to show you guys how this bull run is different. So 2018 comes around, we get the sell-off, price comes down, bounces off that 50, comes up for another retest of that 50, and boom, into the bear market. You guys noticing a trend yet? And what makes this bull run so much different is that we got this nice blow off top, but then we came down, bounced once and twice, and then the third time failed to maintain above the 50 moving average. Now we are at this critical moment in time where price action is really testing this 50 moving average on the weekly charts, folks. This is a big deal. I cannot stress that enough. So if we cannot really break past this 50 moving average, we are going to be seeing what's called a corrective wave with a stop along this lower trend line at about 35,600. And if that does fail, folks, we're coming down to this $23,000 level. But in my opinion, at this point in time, if we saw price come down this far, it's way too far from this Ichimoku cloud. Way too far. So I'm really hoping that if this bottom falls out, we see a retracement down to about the 35.6-ish level. Gives us some time to consolidate on the weekly for price action to come back up and bounce above this thinner part of the Ichimoku cloud, maybe in July. So that's where I'm at with the market, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying the ICP content. We're uploading constant videos about the ecosystem. So if you're into ICP or you're interested in it, check out some of the playlists and stuff like that I am putting together. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. Big shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I love you guys more than you know. We'll see you guys all on the next video.